Hi, folks. My name is Girish, Bali, the host for Back to Basics, another Back to Basics for another week. Today, we're going to be talking about finding the voice. What does that mean? That's more on the health and fitness, health and wellness. That's what we're going to be talking about. And today, we have Leslie on the call today, on the show today, and we're going to talk about what does it mean for her to find the voice, and what does that mean in general. So, Leslie, how are you? And thanks for coming to Back to Basics.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm looking forward to sharing my story and what that voice that I lost is all about.
So let's start with that, right? So let's talk about Leslie, who Leslie is first. So can we explain to everyone who Leslie is and what is she doing nowadays? And she's really bringing smile to everyone that I know. So
Thank
please.
you. Yeah, sure. Yeah, Leslie's trying to biohack her age. No, I'm only kidding. No, I'm regressing as I age. I think biologically, I feel like I'm 25.
Hmm.
Chronologically, I'm a little bit older than that, but um, what I do is my passion is really getting my voice out. The years of education, the years of being in corporate in the health and wellness sector, and providing information and tools for people to kind of reset their GPS,
Hmm.
creating that optimal health
Hmm.
performance in the workplace and at home. But I am a board certified functional nutrition and lifestyle practitioner.
Hmm.
And I'm a Reiki practitioner, which is pretty cool because I kind of incorporate that into my practice when I'm working with people. I'm very in tune and intuitive.
Hmm.
I know some of us, we call it that woo woo kind of mentality,
Hmm.
but it's something that I've always tapped into. You know, I could just pick up on people, and I don't see colors and all of that kind of stuff, but I just can feel the waters with people and where they're coming from. And also, I'm just really passionate in giving back to the community,
Sure.
working with the community, and helping groups and organizations and people that just need those tools and to kind of repurpose and reset their lifestyle modalities
Hmm.
and public speaking. And that's something that I'm passionate about as a podcaster, and also speaking in corporate and in the private and public sector.
Mhm. Thank you, Leslie. And then we're going to go to the detail as to what you do and other things also, and we'll go in detail on that. But before we do that, and thank you for the introduction of who Leslie is and why Leslie is, why don't we tell people what does Leslie mean when it comes to back to basics? What does that mean to you?
That means really just getting back to who I really am, peeling off the layers of life, of events that took place that have created the woman that I am today. And that's really what back to basics means to me.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you again, and thank you again for coming on the show. Definitely an honor for from me for sure. Now, let me ask you this: the website that you have is called West Functional Training. Now, where did that name come from? Because I'm pretty sure there must be some thought process coming to that, right?
Yeah, well, it's actually East West
West
functional
Functional.
training,
That's right.
and it's taking Eastern and Western ways of health and wellness, mental health, physical health, grounding with Mother Earth, getting back to eating whole foods. But on the other end of it, incorporating, innovative technology. Because that's the next new realm. The new generation is the new generation, really, and actually the Gen Zs are really passionate about getting back to eating healthier, getting back to saving planet Earth, Mother Earth,
Mm.
and also fascinated with technology and what how it's catapulting us to the next level in health and wellness. Sort of like I was just a real Trekkie as a little girl.
Mm.
Things that they're doing today are actually gadgets and gizmos that they had when I used to watch it as a little girl in the 70s.
Mm.
So it's pretty amazing what's happening in our world and in our environment. And that's what I try to put into practice when I create packages for people And so I'm sort of like in that balancing in the midway zone of embracing both aspects of technology, futuristic ways of healing us, and also getting back to herbs and getting back to family and different modalities like that.
Mm. Yeah, thank you again. And it seems like you've always thought going back to basics when it comes to the East and West thought process back in the days instead of today's time. It, do you think COVID kind of helped you towards that, or do you think this was way before that, and this is how you were thinking way before this?
You know what? It wasn't until I started just uh, hovering in different rooms in Clubhouse and really just kind of reevaluating and analyzing myself when people would speak. You know, what is my why? Where did this passion come from? Why is it that I'm so passionate about just being outdoors, living and eating a healthy lifestyle, and also raising my children in that manner? And it comes from the elements of having a grandmother who was emigrated here to this country and was a farmer. You know, she was raised on a farm in Italy. And when she came to this country, she just taught me the values of gathering with family, tradition, those dishes, you know, that she would make. And I'd walk into her house and smell those aromas. And I wanted to continue that. And also her showing me how to have a vegetable garden and respecting the animals and our surroundings. And that's where I gained that appreciation as a little girl. That's where it started.
Yeah, thank you again, Leslie, for all that. You know, on the nutrition side of things, when did that start? Because it seems like we've been eating a lot of processed food now. Were you always part of the processed food and thought that's bad for you, and then you went back, or were you just continuing on doing organic stuff? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that stems from the foundation of as a child. My parents both were from Italy, and my father was from Poland. And they always had fresh fruit on the table. My mother always cooked and prepared. And it was a treat to have like soda for, you know, when we had parties or birthday parties. Not that they were strict and said no ice cream, no junk food, but I really wasn't raised in that environment. And it was always cooking, prepping, family gatherings, and helping out my aunts and my grandmother, you know, making ravioli around a big table, and the time that we had quality time to talk and just reminisce. And that is something that we really, as a culture and society here in the U.S., have lost. And I think we really need to get back to that. We need to get back to basics, right?
Yeah. Thank you again. And I think if I'm not mistaken, people can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think Italians is all about hardcore natural food, and they make it fresh. Am I right, or am I wrong in that?
Well, if you read, you know, for example, I'm really into reading and statistics and everything, but there is several books. I think it was Michael Pollan, The Blue Zone, and they talk about, you know, really healthy diets. And the one was the Mediterranean diet, and it was all about the olive oil and eating, you know, legumes and grains and just really eating super healthy. And that was really what I kind of brought to the table when I started having children. And thank God, you know, they all, you know, 22, 20, and 15, they're all like, Ma, you know, you had a method to your madness, and you never denied us of anything. You know, we'd get ice cream and whatnot, but we realized that, you know, I feel good when I eat healthy. So that's what it really comes down to.
Yeah, Leslie, thank you again for that. You know, there has been other episodes that I have talked about reckiness. I call it reckiness because that's just a cool thing to say nowadays. Right? So there are other episodes that I've talked about what is reckiness and what does it do and why does it benefit us in many different ways, right? So we're not going to get into the detail of that. Whoever wants to listen to that, they can go to my other podcast and listen to that.
So
But let me ask you this: from a consumer point of view, from because obviously that's where you first started, right? And then you decided you wanted to be a practitioner. So what is your thought process there? Was it really peaceful for you that you said I wanted to help other people on top of that?
That was another, moment in my life when I was 22 and I lost my father to a massive heart attack. He was
Mm,
golfing. He was an avid golfer. He was, a strong man. He was healthy, but the bottom line was he was smoking packs of cigarettes, and he knew that was his vice, and he had some pre-existing heart conditions.
mm,
And so, here I was graduating college, and I was following the footsteps of my father in the textile industry, and he was very well respected man in the industry, had several patents on machinery, would come and lecture at his alma mater. And my world, my vision was just around him.
mm,
And I just felt like, where am I today without him?
mm,
22. And that's when I realized the foundation of just, wow, you know what? I'm not going to sweat the small stuff, but I know at the end of the day, I want to live as healthy as I can. I want to continue exercising, continue sports, because I want to live well beyond his years of 62 when he passed.
yeah, yeah. Leslie, thank you again, and sorry for your loss. I know it's been a long time, but it still hurts for sure. So let me ask you this: why is it that we tend to find some answers after when someone passes away? Do you think that we were so bonded that we are just lost and now we need to find another track? What are your thoughts on that part?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I don't know if I would have been as passionate. And maybe at 22, you take your life for granted in the sense that you think you're invincible.
Mm,
But that was gone. That was taken away from me. And I look at it as a positive because I'm an optimist, and I don't play the victim role as poor me. I got back on my feet, and I knew that there was a lot more out there for me, and that I really feel that my father is like my guiding light, and I really feel that he gave. Not only do I have the gift from above, whatever it is, to have that voice that I love to speak into and be like a vessel to help other people, to
mm,
empower them.
mm,
So yeah, I just think the circumstances and things that you go through in life make you more resilient.
mm.
For me, that was definitely the case.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you again, Leslie. You know, it's going to be the toughest question that I'm going to ask you, and I don't know if it is an easy answer for you, but are you happy now?
Am I happy? I I was just sharing with you before we went on today, um,
Yes.
that I was at my oldest son's graduation at University of Alabama.
Mm,
And you tend to sometimes live vicariously through your children, and that it just brought me back to that energy of when you ready to conquer the world, you graduate college, and you're ready to prove yourself. And I feel that way now in midlife, and I just feel like I found that new passion on such another level, because now we can do this virtually. We wouldn't have never met if it wasn't for social media through Clubhouse. And I have connected with so many people that all of the tools that I have brought together in my bag now, I can use. And people want to hear me, and they want to hear what I have to share to help others.
mm. Yeah, thank you again. Do you actually think that you found your inner voice? I mean, that's the title of the show today, isn't it? Finding your voice. So, what are your thoughts? Did you find your voice?
You know, uh, I'll just give a little quick overview on that. I think, well, I know that I definitely lost my voice for a bit when I lost my father, to
Mm,
kind of, get back on my feet. And then I think also I was very grateful that I was able to raise my three boys.
mm,
But sometimes you lose that voice when you're helicoptering around children, when you did have a career, and then you take off your hat while your significant other or your spouse continues to move through the processes and procedures of evolving and growing. And I just felt like I lost that.
mm,
And it was through communicating and working with horses that I found my voice to empower me again. But I feel at this point, on a higher level, it's just doors that are opening up. So I set the tone, the foundation, working with horses. I am an avid equestrian, and I have this amazing bond with animals too. And I think it's because I'm very tuned into people and animals and just very grounded. So I think I just feel the best ever physically, mentally, eating healthy. And when you feel good about yourself and you have that self-love, that follows through to just trying to live optimally and embracing life.
Yeah. Leslie, thank you again for answering that question. I know it was not an easy answer for you, because all the stuff I've known you offline, obviously,
Yes.
and all the stories that I've heard about you is very tough. So thank you again for being here, and thank you for supporting me, and thank you for being who you are, Leslie. But before you leave today on Back to Basics, do you have any last words on Back to Basics, listeners and viewers? And what is Leslie for the next 5 more years?
Love that. I would say to anybody, you never want to go back and look back in life and say, you know what if I could have, would have, should have, step out of your comfort zone, take that leap of faith and try something that maybe, it's like getting on a tricycle. Eventually those wheels will come off and then you'll be getting better and just growing and evolving. Yeah, that's really what my passion is. Just follow your heart, follow that inner voice. And you got one life to live, so you might as well go for it.
Yeah. Leslie, thank you again for coming here, and thank you again for supporting the show and supporting all the stuff that I do, and I'm supporting you. You are such an awesome person to interact with, and I'm pretty sure we'll be collaborating more on other projects. This is just the beginning, really. So thank you again, Leslie, for coming on the show.
Thank you. This has been such a pleasure, and it's wonderful to meet you through Clubhouse and just have these great friendships off of social media too, to connect with everybody. So yeah, great to support this.
Absolutely. Leslie, thank you again for...
Okay.
So guys, we spoke with Leslie today and we talked about the basics of finding the inner voice. Yes, it is definitely tough for her, but she found the voice and she's happy. She's really damn happy, I'll tell you that. Now, as usual, as always, there is a quote of the day from Back to Basics, and hopefully everyone will enjoy that. Healing is a matter of time, but it is sometimes also a matter of opportunity. And that's what she did, didn't she? She found the opportunity and she's making people happy day by day and week by week and month by month. She's doing this every day and she's happy. Now, as usual, as always, what do we always say at the end of the episode? Everything in life goes back to basics, and that's what we did today, guys. Guys, take care, God bless, and I will see you next time on Back to Basics. Keep on supporting all the shows, comment, rate, all the stuff. And guys, there are 3 things in every episode, including this one, is a hit for me, which is the content, the guest, and definitely the host. Guys, take care, God bless, and I will see you next time on Back to Basics. Next week's episode on Back to Basics. It's a catch-22, then it increases again, right? So what are your thoughts on that part?
Well, I think if you have, lots of people have a number of different kinds of debt. So you might have mortgage debt, you might have credit card debt, you might have car loans, all these things. So one of the things that I talk about in Cash Flow Cookbook is you want to set up a little debt schedule, just a simple sheet of paper, a spreadsheet, whatever. What are all of these debts and what's the interest rate that you're paying on all of them? So mortgages tend to be among the lowest interest rate debt. And here in the US, for most people, they're tax deductible. So you don't really want to be in a big hurry to pay those off. On the other hand,